Morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's Sunday, quite late in August. Summer's been a bit rubbish, but to be fair, some things are actually doing really well again now. So over the last couple of days we've had some nice warm weather, and I have noticed that the lovely roses are actually coming back out. This one is my Queen Victoria. It's one I bought from work when the Queen died, and it's lovely. It's a beautiful bright red. And this one is my German Jerusalem rose that I actually thought I'd lost. I really like it because it has bright orange buds and then it comes out and fades to like a really lovely apricot. So that's really pretty. This is an impatiens that my husband bought me from Botanical Garden, and it's got such a pretty little flower on it, and it's grown huge. I honestly didn't think how big it would be, but it's done really well. There's been a few changes since my last video. So this is Macana, which is coming on really well. It's lovely to see a bit of colour and a bit of flower on there, and it's been a beautiful one actually. And I've taken out the tomato plants that have now finished, and I've decided to plant some cannas in the raised bed, so I'm looking forward to seeing if these ones flower. This is the rhubarb, it's doing really well. Had some little poppies coming out in here. That's a nice little white one. There's also some orange ones that seem to pop up now and again. It's my little flame of the forest. This is a hydrangea. Normally it comes out in really big pink pom-poms, but as you can see it's not done very well this year. Bit of a shame, but that's the way it goes. This is my apple tree. I've taken out all the plants that were at the bottom of it, and I've trimmed the top bit off in the hopes that it will thicken up for next year. It's supposed to be a self-pollinating one, Jonah Gold, but I'm not sure whether it is because it hasn't done much in the last 3 years. Rose Arch, I'm really pleased with. They seem to be getting another flurry. And I've also got up here a honeysuckle growing in amongst it. Let's see if we can find a proper flower for you to look at. There is one just there. It's been a very, very pretty little plant, that one. Been quite pleased with it. On this side, I've had a really lovely clematis appear that I actually thought I'd lost. So I'm so pleased to see that one arriving. This is my anemone. This is like a double one, so it's quite pretty. I've got a white phlox there, and a mock orange, which is a choicea, and that smells lovely when the flowers are out. The poppies I cut back are starting to come back again already, so it's surprising how everything seems to want to come back, which is wonderful, because when you think you've lost things and then all of a sudden nature has a way of bouncing back, which is wonderful. This is my bamboo. It's a Fargesia, it's a clumping one, so I'm hoping it's not going to go too mad. Around here is my jasmine, which is a really lovely jasmine. The evening time it smells the best, I think. And the banana plant's coming back. can't tell you how pleased I am to see him, because I thought I'd lost him. This is my sambuca that's getting its berries. And here is the tree fern, which has done amazingly well this year. It's put on a bit of growth, I think, as well. So if you look down here, the trunk's fairly big now. So I'm really pleased about that one too. And the grasses have just got their little seed heads on. I always think this one looks like a firework of a sort. It's such a pretty... I do like the way they move around in the wind as well. So it's a steeper type of steeper, which I really like. This is coming on really well. I think it will get quite big, which is what I want, because I want a bit of a canopy here. This is my salvia hot lips. It's got very white at the moment. Normally it's quite red on the ends. There's one there, it's a bit redder, but it's not as red as it normally is. But I don't know if it's been affected by the weather. This is my Trachycarpus that I planted. It's quite a new one, so I think in a few years I might actually have a nice big palm here. I do think it's going to take a long time. As you can see, this is more of my grass border than anything else, so I thought it would be nice to pop a bit of colour in. And I found these Rebecchias, which are really pretty. I got these from a nursery in the countryside, and I thought, oh, they're nice, I'll have some of those. And I've popped them in there. There used to be a low growing grass, but it died back, and I think in the winter I just lost it. This is my rose. It comes out in a pinky white colour. It's just getting buds back on it now. It's sulked a bit because I moved it, so I cut it back and kept my fingers crossed. It's coming back. This is a new grass I've put in. It's meant to get pink feathery plumes on it, so I'm going to hopefully be able to show you that if it happens this year. It might not in the first year, some of them don't. This is my Fatsia spider's web. It's got speckled leaves, which I quite like. There's some white new leaves coming there. The pond I had to have a big clear out of. Because it was being overtaken by blanket weed and everything else. I'm not really sure whether I ought to get another water lily, because the other one, you can't really see it, but under the water there, it's actually not done very well. I don't know if it died off with the cold weather we had in the winter, or what happened to it entirely. But it is a shame, but never mind. I'll develop it as it goes. Crocosmia have come out nice here. And that's just kept flowering and flowering in my metal pot. Back here is another Fargesia, which I'm hoping will grow up in the corner and give me a bit of privacy. I have pruned hard back. This is my strawberry tree. You can see the little fruits coming on this now, which are here. And they go bright red, and apparently you can eat them. So I haven't tried them, but if anyone's tried them, maybe you can let me know what they're like, if you have one of those. There's my other little rose bush. He's coming back nicely. I had to stake him up because he kept flopping over. That one comes out actually in an apricot colour, even though the bud is quite bright on it. Down here are my ferns I've planted. I'm hoping they'll get nice and big and cover this bit, fill it in a bit. So it's a little bit sparse down there. And over there is my geranium. She's a beautiful one. I do like this one. I think it's called Johnson's Blue, I'm not really sure. And here's the other Trachycarpus I planted about 2 years ago. It's coming on okay. A bit slow to the party, but I think it'll make a nice backdrop here, which will cover this fence. I've also got one in the front of the border, so hopefully that will come up nicely. There's a nice big Fatsia here. I do love that. It's probably the biggest one I've got. And then over in the corner here, these are some Rebecchias that my friend gave me from her garden a few years back. And it's a real nice bit of colour just in this corner, which is lovely. This is my big hydrangea, my pom-pom one that my husband bought me, which I really love as well. These are my anemones, they're just coming out now. They're doing really well. Up here, excuse the swing bench, I'm just going to take you around to this bit. I've redone this bit. I decided the other day to dig a few things out because it was just so congested. I cut this back. This is a Daphne, and it seems to have got a few more buds on it. They normally only flower in the spring, so it's quite strange that it's done that. This is my little fuchsia that I forgot I had in here, a little Mrs. Popple. Nice little bit of colour, I'm hoping that'll thicken up. This was actually my pineapple lily, it's not done very well at all. And this was a Calla lily that I bought. It's supposed to be orange. I think one of the cats has flattened it, but there we are. That's the way it goes, isn't it? And over here I've put my hibiscus because they tend to like the shade, I found, a bit more than they like the sun. I know the leaves are a little yellow, so I might have to feed him up, but he's doing really well. But I just want to show you this one. It finally flowered and it is beautiful. This canna here, stunning colour on it, really lovely. And look at those leaves, they are beautiful. They haven't got any more flowers on this at the moment, but it has had a nice lot of flowers on it this year. This is my Magnolia grandiflora. I've had that quite a few years now. But the cannas are spreading, which I'm really pleased about, so I'm hoping that I can divide it and move a few more along this border at the back, because I think it's quite a lovely plant. And I'm really pleased with this. I managed to pick up this painted Fatsia at a garden centre. It was in a sale and it was actually reduced from about 33 quid to 18, so I had to get that. I just thought I wanted one for so long, and I think in the back here it will fill this area nicely. There's another canna here, and I'm pleased to report it's actually getting a bud on here too, so that's going to look nice. The bamboos I planted are coming up really well, and the phormium, can't remember which type this is. I've got a feeling they call it honey spurge, if it is that one. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pleased that it's doing so well here. Down here's my little fern, he's coming on nicely. It was tiny when I bought it. This is my Moe's Toes, my Pseudopanax. I'm not sure if it flowers or not, but I love the shape of the leaves on this one. Over in the corner I've had to cut back some of this ivy that comes in from the neighbour's wall. But I've planted the red rose that was growing up near the grandiflora in this corner. I'm hoping in time it will cover the wall. I will put some support there for it. That's my big fern. This is my biggest one, which is absolutely lovely. It's been really stunning this year. This rose has finally come back out. Oh, and it's a beautiful creamy yellow. And it smells amazing. So I'm quite happy about that one. Down here, in here, is another pineapple lily, which is doing slightly better than the other one did. And you have to excuse the hosta. The snails have had a field day with that. But I think if they can eat that and they can leave the other one alone, then that's fine. This is the bottle brush. It looks a bit of a mishmash in this back bit, but as things grow up, it'll sort itself out, I think. This is my other Fatsia japonica, and I put the hydrangea that was in a tub in here because it outgrew the tub, but it seems to be loving it in here. It is actually a white one because this is quite a dark border, and I think it will cheer it all up a bit. I'm not too sure what to do with this bit here. It looks a bit of a mess now. The leaves have come off of the, as you can see, the palms up here, the cabbage palms, and they do make a bit of a mess. But I do like my cabbage palms, so we'll forgive it. In here I've put my Zebriana plant. It used to be indoors, but it's got so big now. It seems to be making babies, so I think maybe it'll be okay in here. It'll be in a bit of a frost pocket because I've got the canopy from here, so hopefully it doesn't like to be in too much sun, but it likes light, so I'm hoping I've popped it in the right place. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. This is my Gertrude Jickle. Looks like I need to deadhead her a little bit. This is my other Fatsia spider's web. That one's doing ever so well. Bigger than the other one as well, so it's making a few new leaves. I think it's better in the shade, possibly, that one. Here we've got, there's a bit more phlox in here, but also Crocosmia, the yellow form. That's coming out lovely. Look at those pretty little flowers. There's a little bit more of the phlox. Oh, and this is my hibiscus bluebird. It's come out really well today. But this is another one that seems to come out better. I find the flowers open better when it's not so sunny than when they do when it's sunny, so I don't know, I think they just like the shade better, those. This has the white bells. It's a phormium. Yeah, it was tiny, but it's coming up lovely now. I'm quite pleased with that one. Around here are my pots, so I've got a phormium in here that changes colour, it seems. Now and again you get redder leaves and yellow lime green flowers on that. This is my fuchsia. I do love the colours in that, really pretty. Come round here, see it a little bit better. This is my pot. It's got all sorts in here. Nemesia. The Nemesia will come back. I'm not sure whether the others will because they came from a pack of seeds for Mother's Day. This is my Indian bean tree. I paid £16 for it online. It was a bare root one. I put it in the pot and hoped, and it's done really well. But I do think I need to feed it because it's looking a little sorry for itself. Leaves are going a little bit yellow. This is my little bonsai that I rescued from work. Had no leaves on it when I bought it, so that's ever so good. I'm really happy with that. And here you've got the other Daphne, and this is my climbing rose. Comes out pink. There's not many flowers on it and now because I did trim it right back. There are some there, so you can sort of see what colour it will be. And that's quite a lovely one when it's out. Usually it's smothered in pink flowers, so it was earlier in the season. It's been a funny summer, so a lot of the plants seem a bit confused, don't they? There we are. This is quite pretty. It changes colour as well. Gets little white bell flowers on. It looks like it's going to get some more of those. Got some little buds in there. So anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed looking around the garden. It's quite a lovely view from the kitchen window when I look out, and I see it and I think to my, excuse the washing, but I quite like it now. So hopefully we'll get some nice weather and we can do a bit more gardening. See you all on the next one.